We all want new followers, right? But what
Yes.
happens when they actually come to your profile? That is what you want to think about. So instead of thinking and focusing on growing followers, think about your Instagram profile being more like a funnel to attract and retain your ideal followers that can turn into ideal clients. And that is exactly what you are going to learn today. How to optimize your Instagram profile to achieve growth and attract and retain ideal followers. So let's dive in. So as I was mentioning, you want to think about shifting your mindset from just growth, but your Instagram profile being like a website, like a funnel, where you're going to nurture potential leads or potential customers to eventually actually subscribe, follow, know, like, and trust you, and then maybe possibly purchase one of your offers. And so you have three types of potential eyes that come to your page. You have new people who come to your page and they're debating if they actually want to hit that follow button. Then you have new people who just hit the follow button and maybe they have questions. They're wanting to get to know you. And then third, you have your community. You have your tribe of people who've possibly been following you for quite some time and they're actually a really warm lead. And now it is just your objective through your content strategy and marketing to actually turn them into a paid client. And one of the first things people see when they come to your page is your bio. And with your bio, you want to, one thing to avoid is hashtags. I've seen people use hashtags, or maybe you're tagging another page, but when you do that, you're actually going to be taking the attention away from that new potential audience member to another page. And then if they go to that hashtag, then they get lost in the sauce of scrolling through that hashtag and then they forgot about your page, meaning they might not actually even come back. So you don't want to have any kind of words or ads or hashtags that are going to direct people off your page. You'd rather have like an I help X achieve Y by Z statement with specific keywords that are search engine friendly. So if they are typing in keywords, your bio will naturally pop up. So for example, I help coaches earn their next 5K all online. So that way clients are coming directly to them saying, where do I sign up? So it's really specific. Or I help marketers leave their 9 to 5 by creating attraction magnetic content through video or through reels. It's very specific. You're identifying exactly who you help, how you help them, and what is going to be the end result. Next, and again, you want to be making sure to use keywords that are niche specific and related to your industry. You also want to have a specific call to action that's directing people to that link in your bio. And that call to action, like access or grab my new freebie of 100+ content ideas, or subscribe to my newsletter here, or join the waitlist for my upcoming workshop, XYZ. But you want to make sure that it is specific. So now that you have your bio optimized, the next thing is your profile picture. And your profile picture is the first piece or image of connection that your potential audience has with you. And so you want to make sure that it is bright, has your branding, you are smiling, it's from about your chest up, and they can clearly see you. You definitely want an image versus a logo. The only reason why you would use a logo is if you're like a bigger company, maybe you have a huge team. That is the only reason why you would use a logo. But even then, I highly, highly recommend a personalized photo, especially if you are a coach, a service provider, or a personal brand. Next is your name. And with your name, I've seen people have a name that is like long, or they have like their full name and all their degrees, and I'm a doctor and XYZ. You don't need all that. You just need your name, your first name, and then keyword indicators that are niche related and specific that are search engine friendly. So for example, maybe you are a hairstylist or a loctician or a photographer or an online nutrition coach. You want to be very specific in those key terms. So for mine, I have Instagram marketing, sales, and business coach. So if someone were to type in marketing coach, business coach, sales coach, Instagram, I would populate. And so that is what you want to think about, because Instagram is more like a search engine now, similar to Google, where people will look up, recipes or restaurants or business coach or Instagram tips. And you want to have those keywords in your bio. Next is the link in your bio. So as I mentioned earlier, you want to have a specific call to action that is going to help direct people to your link, but you don't want that link to be like all drawn out and long and weird, what looks like spam. You want it to be short and sweet. So you can use a bit.ly, you can use hyperlinks or multi-links like Linktree or Tap Bio, but essentially you want to have a specific call to action directing it there, and you want it to be mobile friendly. And what I mean by that is if you don't have it mobile friendly, it won't populate on people's smartphones because most people are using their smartphones in a succinct, nice, streamlined, easy to read way. You also want to make sure that it works. There's times where I've been doing a social media audit and I go to the link in someone's bio and it doesn't even work. It goes to that 404 error page. You don't want that. So make sure that you have those updated. And ideally, you want it to go to your offers, your services. Maybe you have a free Facebook group, maybe you have a YouTube channel, or you have a newsletter or a freebie. But you don't want to have too many options, or maybe you have all these affiliate links. Focus on promoting you. And ideally, you want to have maybe max 5 to 7. I really say 5 multi-links in there versus like 20. That can get overwhelming. And then when you get to it, or your audience gets to it, they're overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, this is too many options. I need to click off. And you can also create a multi-link on a website. There are some people that I've seen, instead of using Linktree or Tap Bio, they actually have optimized their website and have a page that just specifically has different links. And with that multi-link, you also want it to be branded. Next is your highlights. I specifically myself still need to update my highlights because my page is brand new since I recently just started from scratch. But your highlights are the first piece of bingeable content that new audience members can come and check out. So if they came to your page and they're currently debating whether or not to follow you, they can go check out your highlights. And your highlights are kind of like the navigation bar on your website. So you'll have an about you, an FAQ, your offers. If you have multiple offers, you want to have a highlight for each offer. Maybe you have a behind the scenes. I like to have my family on there so people get to see that I'm a mom and I'm really big on family. You can also have information about your services along with how people can contact you. And just like your profile picture, you want your highlights to be very clear and bold and stand out. You want to use your brand colors, nice images, make sure that you're using specific keywords that are short and sweet because you don't have a lot of space when it comes to your highlights. So ideally you only can use like 1 to 2 words, or you can just use an emoji, but you want to use brand related emojis or emojis that are related to the topic that your highlight is actually about. And you can also create a highlight of your best story content. And another big thing that you want to make sure to do is to update your highlights. You don't want to have outdated highlights that are from like 3 or 5 years ago or an offer that you no longer are delivering. So every month I highly recommend just going through your highlights and updating them. And you can do that by going to that little hamburger in your profile and going to your stories archive and actually going and selecting new stories to join your highlight and updating and deleting any old stories in your highlight. Next is branding. So this is really big. If you are a personal brand coach or service provider or just in business in general, I'm sure you have some brand colors. So you want to make sure that your branding is succinct in all areas of your Instagram profile. So when it comes to your highlight covers, when it comes to your stories, and when it comes to the fonts that you're using, you don't want to be using all these different fonts and all these different colors that are off topic and not related to your brand. It's going to be uneasy to the eye and it's just going to look all over the place. Same with when it comes to the emojis that you use and your captions and your copy. So that way your voice is succinct and people can get used to a specific kind of tonality when they're reading your captions or when they're connecting with you in your stories. Lastly is your grid, which is your timeline. And so it does not have to be perfect by any means, but you do want it to be sync. Like I said, with your branding and everything else, you want it to be succinct with your brand. So you want to have similar graphics, you want to have similar copy, you want to have similar fonts. Essentially, you want it to be cohesive in your editing style. And it's okay if like one day is a little off, but you really want to make it your goal to have everything be cohesive because this is your audience's first impression. The first impression to decide whether they're going to follow, decide whether they want to stay, and decide if they want to stay long enough to eventually purchase from you. So it is a way for your audience to know, like, and trust you. And when they trust you, they're more likely to buy and become a client. And so to recap, to fully optimize your Instagram profile page so you can have more growth and attract and retain your ideal followers, you want to, 1, make sure that your bio is optimized using keywords related to your niche and your industry. 2, you want to make sure that you have an amazing, bright, friendly, warm, welcoming profile image. 3, you want to make sure that you have keywords in your name so that it's search engine friendly when your ideal client is actually searching for what you do and what you offer. 4 is your link. You want to make sure that it is mobile friendly and you have a specific call to action directing people to that link. And you don't want to have too many multi-links within that one link. 5 is your highlight. Make sure you're updating them, have an about you, an FAQ, information about your offers and your services, testimonials, and so forth. And 6 is your branding and your grid. Overall, you want to make sure that it's cohesive in regards to graphics, colors, fonts, and it's appealing enough for your audience to build that trust and rapport and bond and truly connect with you. So that way you're getting them in the DM. They're opting in for your freebie or offer or your newsletter. And if you yourself are a coach or service provider looking to truly optimize not just your Instagram profile, but your content marketing strategy for success to start attracting your ideal client, where they come to your page and it's just so good. They reach out to you like, oh my gosh, I just love your content. I want to learn more. How do I work with you? To have people coming to you on autopilot, ready, willing to pay you with their credit card. If that's you, then money making messaging is for you, aka M3. And within M3, you will learn our proven plug and play content formula and strategy that will have your ideal clients coming to you on autopilot, getting sales by attracting your dream clients using marketing sales psychology. You will learn our valued content strategy method, how to create captions that converts. You will get access to a 12-month content calendar along with a content strategy where you'll be able to make content in minutes, plus multiple worksheets and so much more. So again, make sure to comment, convert below to get access to money-making messaging. But that, y'all, is how you will optimize your Instagram profile for growth and success. If you found this helpful, please make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for next week's video where I'll be covering why you need content pillars in your social media strategy. And if you don't know what content pillars are, make sure to hit that notification to find out. And I shall see you in the next video.